While the fate of Duck Dynasty remains up in the air, and after A&E's indefinite suspension of Phil Robertson, one thing is crystal clear. The patriarch of the Robertson family is not backing down from his Bible-backed position. I'm David Webb in tonight for my good friend Sean. According to a report in the Daily Mail, Phil Robertson led a Bible study group yesterday and during the meeting said, quote, "I will not give or back off from my path." Phil went on to say again, and I quote, "I love all men and women. I am a lover of humanity, not a hater." And tonight, we want you to join the conversation. Do you think A&E Network should reverse its decision about Phil? Log on to Sean's Facebook page. Let us know what you think. And also, it's time to trend at 10. You can sound off on Twitter using the hashtag Hannity. But first, let's bring in our panel. Democratic strategist Bernard Whitman, Breitbart News columnist Kerry Picket, and Fox 401 contributor Diana Falzone. So good evening. Here we are, another controversy in America. First, to our entertainment maveness. Is that what you are?
Sure, let's go with it.
All right. Entertainment industry, what is this from that point of view?
From that point of view, nothing's going to happen to Duck Dynasty. It is going to continue. In fact, it is going to have its debut of season number 5 starting on January 15th, and Phil Robertson is a part of that season. All these cast members, the family members, the Robertsons, are saying that they will not do the show without Phil. That isn't going to happen because of something called an ironclad contract. The show will go on, and I believe that Phil will also come back for another season.
This season's already taped.
The season's already taped, but I'm saying season 6, he'll be back on.
All right, Kerry Picket, First Amendment's being thrown around, but the First Amendment's about protection from government. Is this issue really a First Amendment issue, or is it more about the right to say what you want, regardless of your belief, without blowback?
Well, you know, this is what particularly bothers me here is that I think you have so many elites out there who have gotten used to, over so many decades, to see a particular demographic made fun of. You know, we saw it during the Beverly Hillbillies. We saw it, you know, particularly with a lot of like the New York, L.A., Boston, Washington.
Go after the turn near the cheek crowd. In other words, who won't hit back.
Exactly, and they're okay with that crowd as long as they don't mention Jesus, as long as they don't mention religion, as long as they don't mention their views when it comes to, say, homosexuals. It's like, don't mention that. As long as we can make fun of you, that's okay.
So tolerance with a position. Bernard, I'll go to you on this. What if these words had come out of, say, someone quoting the Quran's position on homosexuality? What if it had come out of the mouth of an imam?
Yeah, I think it's the exact same situation. Here's the problem. When you equate an entire class of people with things like having sex with animals or being drunks or being adulterers, just let me finish. Let me finish.
No, but you can't get away with that. His quote, he did not equate. There was a comma after the quote.
I did not say equate. I said link, which is exactly what he did. He said it morphs from this to that. So there was a linkage, not an equation. That has terrible effect on people. It's demeaning, it's vile, it's disgusting. Does he have a right to do that? Yes. But I would argue it's detrimental to society. I think it's one reason why gay kids are 5 times more likely to try to kill themselves, why there's so many gay homeless youth out there. And I also think that we should use this, though, as an opportunity to engage in a real discussion here. The problem I have is not with his Christianity at all. But let's remember here, the Bible talks about homosexuality 6 or 7 times. It talks about prayer 500 times. It talks about money and possessions 2,000 times. And according to the Bible, slavery is okay. If you're an adulterer, you should be killed.
Bernard,
it's selective. It's selective.
Right, but you're getting selective here.
Selective use of religion to affirm bigotry.
But you're getting selective. My question was also, what if this had come out to you, Diana? If this had come out of a Muslim's mouth. And this is an important point because whether you have an Orthodox Jew, an evangelical, a Muslim with the Quran, if they go by the orthodoxy, you get the same answer, but the response is different. So is this real or is it kind of a fake response?
here's the whole thing. The question would be, would that person be an A&E contracted person? Because if we look at it from the contract standpoint and a company standpoint, he's an at-will employee of this network. And what he was saying was not at a church, was not in the privacy of his home. He said it representing a show. This is an entertainment vehicle. And everyone's forgetting that. So that's where you have to look at it. He would have been in trouble no matter what religion he was spewing.
Kerry Picket, he said it within the context of a show. This is reality TV. In reality TV, if you get the Kardashians, you get the Kardashians. If you get the whatever show, what's her name, Snooki, you get Snooki. You get the Robertsons, you get the Robertsons. So where's the shock here when A&E could have Googled, and their lawyers probably Googled what he said in 2010?
Yeah, but remember, he also said it during a GQ interview. He didn't actually say it on the show itself. And also, one of the things that sort of bothers me here is that, this is only. I was watching the old 1975 version of the Stepford Wives, and it's almost like this is almost like the Stepfordization of a society here. That if you say the wrong thing, you are going to be destroyed. And then basically you have to come out and then end up saying the right thing. In this case, it's not baking cookies and doing housework and taking care of the kids. It's basically making sure that you end up saying the right thing about gays and everything else about the liberal agenda. And that is something that is particularly concerning. And by the way, you don't have to be famous. Say, like Phil Robertson, you can be a complete nobody, like someone like a PR executive, like we saw over on Twitter. If you say the wrong thing, then you watch out. You're going to have a lynch mob coming after you.
Okay, Bernard, tolerance. I want to go to the issue of tolerance. You and I have debated this a lot of times. If I don't agree with someone, I don't necessarily go out and attack them. I may give my commentary. But there's an outward attack on the Christian position. Agree or disagree with Phil's position, whether he was articulate or not in what he said, it doesn't matter. It's his position, and he has a right in America to state it, even within the boundaries of being an at-will employee. So what about tolerance? Isn't it feigned intolerance if someone doesn't say, I don't agree with you, I wish you could have said it better? Because what he said parrots the position of many in this country, over 100 million evangelicals.
And I don't think it's about tolerance. It's about being clear for taking responsibility for what you said. When people say things and do things, there are consequences, and he's got to take responsibility. I don't think it's anything wrong for people that support gay people to come out and call him out and say, you know what, that is vile, that's offensive, that's wrong. But I also think that we can use this to have an open, honest discussion about how we have religious tolerance and tolerance for other people, in this case gay people, live together in America. I think we should use that opportunity to engage in this conversation. And we will, I think, over the next few months.
All right, everyone wants a conversation. I think we need a beer summit. Maybe we need a duck summit out of this. Coming up,
call me.
First, I'll give you my take on what's going on with the Duck Dynasty controversy. And while most of the major sponsors are standing with Phil, that's an important fact, one large restaurant chain announced it was pulling some of the Duck Dynasty products from the shelves. Less than 48 hours later, they reversed their decision because of you, the public, and public outcry. Will explain my take on what happened with Duck Dynasty. This is new Coke. This is brilliant marketing. Let's look at this for what it is. The interview was done ahead of time. A&E was represented. There was a review. They knew who Phil is because you can Google 2010 when he spoke. And then moving forward, you see what this is. The season's already been taped. Look at the great ratings, a #1 show. Folks, welcome to brilliant marketing by both sides, while we have feigned outrage on one side and support on the other. But the real secret here is who pulls and who doesn't when it comes to entertainment. The major restaurant chain, Cracker Barrel, announced that it was pulling some of the Duck Dynasty products from their shelves in response to Phil stating his position on homosexuality. But yesterday, Cracker Barrel reversed its decision in a statement on Facebook, wrote in part, "When we made the decision to remove and evaluate certain Duck Dynasty items, we offended many of our loyal customers. Our intent was to avoid offending, but that's just what we've done. You told us we made a mistake, and you weren't shy about it. You wrote, you called, you took to social media to express your thoughts and feelings. You flat out told us we were wrong. We listened. Today, we are putting all our Duck Dynasty products back in our stores, and we apologize for offending you. We respect all individuals' rights to express their beliefs. We certainly did not mean to have anyone think different. And tonight we want to hear from you. What do you think about Cracker Barrel reversing its decision? Sound off on Sean's Facebook page. Now, back to our panel for more reaction. I'll go to Diana Falzone from Fox 411. This is the new Coke. This is advertising. This is marketing. It was reviewed. It was a written interview. The episodes are in the can, except for the finale. And I say that this is brilliant marketing, and everybody's in on it.
Ding, ding, ding. I 100% agree with you. This is brilliant marketing, and it makes complete sense. January 15th is the debut of the season. And remember, they said he's not off the show. Everyone keeps saying he got fired. No, very careful language here. He's just on an, quote, indefinite leave of absence, which means he can come back at any time.
Come back tomorrow morning.
Exactly.
Indefinite has no
Maybe
time
he'll come back, January 16th.
Bernard?
I wish I were that cynical, but I'm just not. I think that it's part of the marketing blitz. It went a little sideways. But, here's the thing.
Well, we're talking about it. Did it really go sideways? Because in Hollywood, any publicity is good publicity. Just spell the name right.
Well, no, I actually think that this was probably a little bit more than the A&E folks would have liked, a little bit less scripted even for reality TV, which, of course, we all know is scripted. The thing with Cracker Barrel is interesting, though, because they got in trouble in the 90s for being anti-gay. I think they didn't really think this thing through, and quite frankly...
Well, the anti-gay are staying in their position.
Back in the 90s, they actually had an official, very anti-gay position, but this was 15 years ago. Let's talk about now. I'm not in favor of boycotts. I'm in favor of engagement. Let the marketplace decide this. I actually think that A&E did the right thing by putting him on leave, but I think the Cracker Barrel did the wrong thing by first taking this stuff off the shelves and then putting it back on. Let the marketplace decide. I don't have to buy their stuff if I don't want to.
But Kerry Picket from Breitbart, the market did decide. The market who goes to Cracker Barrel, and look, I eat at Cracker Barrels all over this country. Great food. The stores are crowded. People buy all kinds of tchotchkes and whatever there. The market decided, because in this country over 145 million Christians and evangelicals combined and more, they spoke. So what do you say to that? The market, has it made its decision with Cracker Barrel?
It absolutely did, and it didn't just make its decision with Cracker Barrel. It made its decision a long time ago with Walmart. It made its decision a long time ago, even with A&E, with the amount of viewers that it gets with Duck Dynasty. I mean, this is the reason why Under Armour didn't pull away, as well as other sponsors didn't pull away, no matter how many people ended up criticizing Phil Robertson. So I think that the backlash ended up going more towards A&E more than anything else. So it's all about the bottom line here. And the people here who I think are going to benefit most are going to be the Robertsons here.
And the bottom line on this is people will be watching Duck Dynasty by the millions. The Facebook page, Diana, has 1.7 million fans and growing. So here we are. Look, to me, this is brilliant. It's marketing. People can debate ad nauseum. He has a right to his position. The First Amendment protects you from government imposing its will on you, not from at-will employment. And Bernard, the only thing I can say to this is, on all sides, tolerance needs to be reciprocal.
And respect. And that was not respectful. What he said was not respectful.
But from the other side, there needs to be tolerance.
And it was not respectful. And it used
was it his history? Yes or no?
It used Christianity to
was it someone who said what he believes? Yes or no? That was already on the record.
Well, I don't know Phil Robertson. I'm assuming he believes what he says, but he also deserves to hear what other people believe.
Go ahead, Diana.
I was just going to say, it was probably the delivery in which he said it, too. It was a little crass. Not the scripture,
so
but things outside of the lines. So they didn't edit the article they wrote. See, this is why I'm a cynic. Right.
This article was written, and A&E reviewed it, and they wrote it.
Do you know who I blame the most at this? A&E's publicist, who stepped out of the room. I mean, this is a reality star who happened to fall into fame. He sells duck calls for a living. He's not ready for all this.
By the way.
Excellent duck calls.
All right, Kerry, what do you say? Final word.
I still think that these guys have, as you said, have done a brilliant marketing job, not just in the end, but also they did it from the very beginning. And the nice thing is they're not going to be pulling away from their position anytime soon. They're going to be digging their heels in.